Welcome, Brett. Here we are, another episode of Rebuild Confidence.
Thank you, Andy.
We're going to have a bit of a chat today, a bit more insight into what we do on a building site.
Yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot, and all our building assessors are going to listen to this because I'm going to send it to them and see if you know what they actually do.
Yeah. Well, I do.
It's very confident.
Yeah. No, I do. Well, I used to. Let's just see if I still do.
So we get the phone call.
Yes.
One of the bookings team booked the survey in.
Yep. So basically, we created an app quite a few years ago, and they look at that and they can see what jobs they're going to for the day. Let's just assume they found their way to the right address, and they got there. They've got the start time. They've got information on the client and any other information that might be important with regards to maybe a dog on site or somebody's going to meet them, or the client can only be there for X amount of time, et cetera, et cetera.
So that information is really important.
We employed a BA that was absolutely petrified of dogs.
Yeah.
And the dog sensed that and just went up and bit the guy, which is not ideal. So
when we employ building assessors now, do we ask them if they're okay with dogs?
yes, we do. Lots, amongst other things, if they're okay driving on dirt roads, if they like boats. So all that sort of thing, because we end up in some pretty locations. Yeah, so they turn up, right address, and introduce themselves to the client.
The client receives something, an email, is it an email the day before to remind them we're coming?
Yeah, I mean, essentially when the admin team are booking the job in, they'll get confirmation from the client. And then generally what we'll do is we'll start on the outside first if we can. It really depends on the weather and what the client's up to and so forth, but that's the general rule of thumb, start on the outside. And we've got to get a number of pictures,
Photos from the 60s.
Actually, no, we've stopped sketching with charcoal and paper. We're actually taking photos on our high-tech phones. Yeah. So they go around, take a lot of photos, and we're measuring perimeter. So any measurements that we need to take on the outside, we take, and obviously we're looking at the building, and then we're also looking at all the external works, retaining walls and pools and patios and the likes, and any shelters or carports or ancillary buildings.
Yeah. I'm going to ask the question, between residential and commercial, very similar?
Yeah, same process. We use the same app, but the only difference is one's commercial and the other one's residential and one's emotional.
So they click different things to go in different avenues.
Yeah, within the app, we've got sort of drop-downs, and essentially we choose whether it's residential or commercial, and then it takes you down a different pathway.
Okay.
And asks more commercial questions with regards to the building as opposed to residential ones. So we've taken all that information on the outside, then we then go inside and we pick up details that we really need to have photos of. And there's a lot of risk photos that we take with regards to alarms, sprinklers, and if we can get to the power source or the board, we'll take a photo of that.
I was going to say burglar alarm, but Scottish people seemingly can't say burglar alarm.
And you're not Scottish. Very good. Can you say 11 burglars?
There's a lot of things that I can't say because I'm Scottish. So anyway, sorry. So take photographs of the panels.
And we call them risk questions, and reinsurers and insurers, they like to get detail on that.
And it also shows the standard of the equipment as well.
Yep. Within our app, we can answer up to 220 questions, depending on which pathway you go.
Yeah.
So they'll go through and take the photos. We don't really need photos of bedrooms because they're just rooms. We're looking for joinery and specific items.
Kitchens, bathrooms, that sort of stuff.
The high-value items. Anything that's imported, we need to note. And it's quite easy for us at the end of the survey to actually take note of all that, categorise everything that in case of a total loss, we've actually got all those details down. And if they've got time to draw pictures, we've got them. But otherwise, we've got the photos as a backup. So at the end, the BA will sit down, and it's sort of a bit potentially a Q&A session. We try and control the amount of time that we spend with the client, and we try and put it at the end of the survey so that they can sort of get into the groove and take the information. And it's usually received quite well, and that's when we find out if there's something that we can't see.
So what sort of questions would you expect them to be asking when they're sitting with the customer?
They might have been walking around. They would have seen some sensors on the walls with regards to underfloor heating, but they didn't see a manifold, which would be hot water, which is not cheap, underfloor heating. The other questions would be, maybe solar panels, they couldn't see them on the roof or couldn't get far enough away from the building to be able to take a photo of the roof. One of probably the strangest responses we've had to, is there anything that we've missed out? There was a rather large doomsday bunker underneath the house.
Yeah.
And they said, we're not interested in that. That's for security reasons. So anything like that.
Some of the things that I remember over the years that we hear is like people will put a $500,000 kitchen into their house, and we know that we can get that kitchen for $250,000, a replica of what they've got, but they've included flying over to Italy to get built there and assembled and then brought back down and sent here, and that's in the $500,000 cost. But that's the sort of information we want we don't know that until the customer actually tells us.
Yeah, 100%. And in the event of a total loss, would we be going back through that? That's a discussion that we have with the client.
It's not about us asking all the questions, it's about them telling us.
Most people are really good. They'll actually point it out that it's solid oak from France.
Yeah.
And so forth. And the floorboards, even though they just look like floorboards, they're actually 60 mil thick.
Yeah.
So they generally will point that out, especially in the top spec houses. But we've got algorithms within our system that'll put logic into it based on all the other questions. And we were looking at replacement value.
Yeah.
So if it was to burn down today, what would you replace it in?
Yeah.
With not what was used in 1975 when it was built. So to carry on the journey, because the BA is still sitting there patiently waiting while we're talking, they'll ask the question. So they'll ask the client the question, any questions, and the client will ask, and then we will put all the information, finish off the app, upload the job, and it's all tracked through our system here, C3IQ, and it becomes available for a peer review for the quantity surveyors who are in the team, the insurance quantity survey team.
So then the BA, the building assessor, they move on to the next job.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. And I feel like all the BAs will be complaining because I've just completely simplified the job.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Can I just add in there, sometimes it's raining or it's -5 degrees, or they've got to put chains on a car, or they do get attacked by a dog, or they get followed around by a wild pig, which has happened. And so
it makes a big difference when you hear them come back and talk about customers that are really friendly to them, and which most customers are. That they'll go to somebody's door and they say, they offered me a cup of tea, and when I was sitting having my questions, and it was great, it was nice, and it's real nice that people appreciate what they're doing.
And the clients have the ability to answer a questionnaire that we send out on completion of the job through Customer Radar, and the feedback we get from that is very, very good. It's something we're really proud of.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, our NPS scores about 80 odd in the 80s.
Yeah.
The feedback is based on our whole customer service of our business.
Yeah.
And most of the feedback we get is about the people that go to site, which is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, some people will comment on the whole experience, but most of it is the people who are fronting the business.
I'm going to add a bit on here that you never expected. If we're employing a building assessor, tell me the main things that you look for in a building assessor.
I mean, it sort of transitioned as the business grew, but what we came to realise is if they're personable people and they get on really well with people, that's a massive plus. And then pair that with experience for whatever it is. And, we've got varied experiences within our team. Some ex-architects, some ex-fire surveyors, some ex-council inspection people, surveyors.
Gym instructors.
Yeah.
We've built this system based on having people with no experience. So they come in, we train them, and it's that personality is the number one attribute that we want from these BAs. Yeah,
the personality and being able to identify the elements in a building. And that's it. And, I mean, one of the ones that were probably the least experienced actually gets the best reviews over the last 3 years, which is amazing.
How long would you say from go to woe, from them coming in to them actually going out and doing surveys on their own?
It can take as little as 2 weeks to actually get people up to speed. If we get that perfect mix of personality and experience, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's where we wanted to be.
Yeah.
When we first started building this technology 12, 13 years ago, that's where we wanted to be, to have people in, and within 2 weeks. So if somebody comes to us with a huge job, we can have people up and running really quickly.
As in lots of projects, which we are getting more and more of, especially in the commercial stage. But 100%. If we were to get, and we have been put in this situation where we've got 1,000 jobs, we need to get them done before the end of the month.
Every time we sit with somebody that's about to give us a large contract, I always say to us, have you got capacity? How are you going to manage it? And we have never been caught out with that.
No. And our answer is always yes.
That's an interesting insight into what we're doing. Hopefully I learn from it. Hopefully other people learn from it. I'll be quizzing the building assessors when they come in and saying, so what questions are you asking your customers? And I'll say, Brett said this.
Yeah, well, don't start with that.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. That's really good. Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, mate.